Peace. All right, welcome back to part 2 of our discussion of 2020 and the world to come. What is the meaning of life? We're looking at this section of the book, Numerology, from a different perspective, and we're only gonna tackle the first part of this section because it's a lot to talk about. As always, I like to begin the discussion. I'm going to move my camera around. I like to begin the discussion with a consideration of the etymology. And I know I sound like a broken record, but that's okay. Yeah, my kids they ain't no joke. They've been trashing my office. Okay. All right. Leave that right there. I'm just going to, all right, and all right, okay, etymology. I just want to reiterate why it's important. The etymon is the essence. It's the essence. Whenever you're talking about the essence of something, you're talking about fire. Whenever you talk about fire, you're getting to a discussion of origins and records of the past. Okay? So, this discussion on numbers has to begin here. This is why it's titled Numerology from a Different Perspective. Many times, and I got a numerology book sitting right here. It's a good one. Numerology and the Divine Triangle. Okay. Now, but the thing about it is, and it's good information in here. The thing about it though, the book is going to jump right into the discussion of numbers as far as what does this number mean, what does that number mean. But it does not deal with what is a number, period. What is a number from a more original standpoint? What's the DNA of the word? You know, why is that the word used to identify these things we call numbers? So this is the step and the approach that we're going to take with this discussion. Okay. So many different routes we can take, and we're just going to, it's hard to organize it. We're just going to go at it. All right. First of all, you see in the word number, the root is num. Numb, you know, like when you go to the dentist and you're about to have a root canal procedure performed and the dentist numbs the tooth. What's interesting about the word numb is that it originates from, originally, it basically means name. Numb means name, okay? The end of the word or suffix is "-ber". And I know I'm using the B twice. Numb, name, "-ber". When you see the "ber", B-E-R means bear, as in the light bearer. Okay, so first entry into looking at number, it's the name bearer. And because it's taking on that perspective as being the name bearer, it easily leads our metaphysical minds into the concept of the light bearer, because the name is the representation of the light. How? Now I'm taking liberty saying that, right? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. C. Freeman Hill said multiple times, I heard in different lectures, your name means nature. Okay, when I heard him say that, I figured, I accepted it as a philosophical truth, which it is, that your name means your nature. But it is a literal etymological truth that name means nature, because name comes from the root anomen. Anomen means name. If you remove the vowels in anomen, it's O-N-O-M-E-N. When you remove the vowels, you just have N-M-N, nomen. Name means name. But that doesn't tell me nothing. That just takes me in a circle. But we go a little deeper, and name also means to know. Now, put a mental bookmark right there. Name from onomen means name, but also means to know. Nature. The word nature comes from a very dynamic root, and the root is GN. GN, which produces the word gnosis. Okay? Also, when you talk about joining or conjoin, unk, because the G, when you turn it around, you have NG. The G can be interchanged with the letter K, and in some variations with the Q, which is why Kabbalah can be spelled with a Q and a K. Same with Quran can be spelled with a Q or a K. So the GN that produces gnosis is the same as ung, as an unk. Conjoin, which means joining. When you join something together, it is a way of knowing. GN, the root, means to know. So nature, which traces back to GN, means to know. And name, which traces back to onomen, also means to know. So literally, name does mean nature. And they both mean to know. The number is letting you know what light is being born, what light it is bearing. Okay, this is our entry into it. We look at it from another perspective. The word number itself is given an etymological root of nim, N-E-M, which is still same as nomen. You remove the vowels, you got N-M. Or I'm sorry, nomen. So nim means to divide, a lot. Okay? So when we look at these things, we're putting a story together. A light that was something bearing a light, okay, was divided, allotted. Now just take your mind and go back to the story of Set and Osiris. What is the tragedy of the story? It is Set tricking Osiris and cutting up the body into 14 pieces. Divide, cut. Cut means divide, a lot. Okay? Number also traces back to the word nimble. But if you break down the word nimble, you still have nim in the front and you have BLE on the back end, suffix. Now I definitely took scholastic liberty on this one. How do you pronounce the end of the word nimble? Bull. Bull. Phonetically, you are saying bull, B-U-L-L, bull. So now, our story moves to naming and dividing the bull. Bull comes from the root B-E-U. It's an Indo-European root, meaning swelling, flowing, flowering. Also from this root, we get the words belly and blood. Put another big bookmark there, mental bookmark. Because we're going to put in and insert, for the bull, we're going to put the blood. The dividing and the allotting of the blood. The blood is also called the vital body. All right? So the naming or dividing, allotting of the light, which is the blood, because the blood is what composed of what? Cells. Blood cells. Light. Cell means light. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look deeper at the word bull. Bull traces back to two other roots in addition to BEU. Now we already said BEU, swelling, as in blood, belly, phallus, okay? But the bull also traces back to the root ane, A-N-E, which means breath, spirit. It further traces back to the root mel, one, that's M-E-L, Roman numeral 1, meaning honey. Now, when you put these in alphabetical order, ani, bo, and mel 1, the three roots that the word bull is assigned in the book, The Origins of English Language. Making sure my sound is still going. I'll sit here and be talking. Okay, so check this out. Even in breaking down the word bull, look, the breath, which means spirit, is imbued, because that B-E-E-U is the same as imbued, that means full. It is imbued as in swelling, belly. It is imbued with light. For what purpose? To produce a final product, which is honey. Honey. Honey is symbolic of a final product. And it's funny, swelling, blood, belly, phallus, but the bow also means flower. And honey comes from nectar from a flower. It's the finished product of nectar that comes from a flower. Through etymology, you'll see a story or several stories converging that give you an inroad to deeper understanding. Now, we're going to go further, take even more liberties. I'm going to say that nimble coincides with Nimrod. That's right. Nimrod in the Bible. Nimrod is the character who is attributed to being the leader of the ancient Babylonians and the founder of the city of Shinar. Okay? And in the city of Shinar, the Tower of Babel or Babel was built. Okay? Before I start getting in the story though, let's look at the name Nimrod. And why am I inserting Nimrod to have anything to do with number? Obviously the name Nim, we already been breaking down Nim, name, light, divide, a lot. Okay? But we also have on the end Rod. Okay? So I want to look at something here. Rod. We look at the etymology of Rod. Okay? And let's see if I put it down here in my notes. Let me just go to the book because it's in the book. First of all, let's back up. Nimrod. As listed in Strong's Concordance, I'm reading from my book. Rebel or the arrow, the mighty hero. Zeus. Let's listen to that. Strong, powerful. Zeus, to be strong, overpower. Pasdomen, place of blood. Place of blood. Okay. What did we say that bull partly means? Blood, swelling. Okay. Furthermore, the rod is also called the ox goad. All right. I want you to look at here. This is the 12th Hebrew letter. See if this will focus in. That's Lamed. Lamed is called the ox goad. Ox goad is another word for rod. All right. Follow me. Ox goad. An ox is a member of the bovine family, as well as the yak, as well as the cow and the bull. Nimbull, Nimrod. All lines up. Okay. Furthermore, in Old Norse, rod becomes rod, R-O-D-D, and rudda, which means a club. Okay? So a rod is something, that's why it's called an ox goad. Literally means go. That's why go is in the word goad. The ox goad is telling the ox to go. A rod is used to propel the animal forward, to move. Okay? Now, let's get deeper into Nimrod. Nimrod built the Tower of Babel. First what we need to do is understand symbolism here. The Tower of Babel is the same as the Djed pillar of Osiris. The Tower of Babel is the same as the body of Osiris that was cut up by Set. Because as the mythology says, He was 28 years old when he died. 28 reduces 2 plus 8 reduces to 10. 10 reduces 1 plus 0 to 1. The Tower of Babel is the number 1. It's the bull. It's the body of Osiris, who just so happened to be referred to as Arapis, which Arapis, Apis, the bull. It's the body of Osiris. All right. Nimrod is called a mighty hunter. All right. Now, I really want you to dig in right here. Let's look at the fire inside of, oh no, why my thing is not adjusting? I guess a little too much light coming in. I didn't feel like setting up my lights. Okay, that's better. Okay, Nimrod's called a mighty hunter. Let's look at the etymology, or the fire that is hidden inside the word hunt. Hunt traces back to hund, hunten, which means hand. Hand. Hunt, hund, hand. Okay? Your hand does what? Grasp. I've said this a million times. It never hurts to say it 1,000,001 though. Hand means, the hand does what? It grasps. It captures. When you know something, that means you have grasped what its meaning is. You know it. Grasp. Coming back to knowledge. All right? He's a mighty hunter. Now, the hand, Kabbalistically, I should better just say in Hebrew, okay, this is the hand. You see, the 11th letter. I was trying to see if this thing is focusing. It's the calf. K-A-P-H. Calf. Palm. Palm. Okay? All right. We look again at Rod, which we said means to strike. It's the club. Man, this camera is, the sensor is moving slow. Fuck it. Okay. What we're going to see here is, if you put these two together, and I'm just going to show this. No, let me write it on another piece of paper. I want to show you something. The calf, I would prefer to do this on my board, but I'm a one-man team here, so with doing these videos, so we're gonna have to, as my grandmama would say, we gotta make do. Just bear with me. I'm gonna write this. And okay, this is the, you'll see here, calf. I've written the Hebraic script. Calf is 20. Okay, Lamed is 30. Together they equal 50. Okay. what you see here, first of all, is partly the magic of 23. The magic of 23. 23, 2 plus 3, or 20 plus 30 is 50, right? 50 reduces to 5. Okay? There was a certain magic behind Michael Jordan wearing that 23. Okay? Which that's why I did a whole thing where I broke down the significance of the number 5. I don't know if I got it in here. 5 is an element of one attribute. It's an element of change. But here's the other thing. 50. The palm of the hand, which the letter before kaf is literally means hand, which is the yod. Okay, the yod is 10, the hand, but the kaf is the palm of the hand, which is to me speaks to the action. Okay, the action of knowing. I want to just go ahead and read something here. This is from the Holy Kabbalah, okay? E.A. Waits. I want to go here and I want to read something for you, just to give you some perspective. And bear with me. Okay. The scheme in full of the gates of understanding is late in Kabbalism. It is found in the treatise entitled The Gates of Light, which is full of references to the mystery of the word kol, as in all. All created things. This thing is tripping. All created things, it explains, have come out of these gates, so that in a sense their knowledge connects with the mystery of universal generation, in reference to which it may be observed that the addition of the feminine letter H equals 5. Okay, we're not going to get into that part. That's another thing. But this is what I want you to lock in on. All created things, it explains, have come out of these gates, so that in a sense their knowledge connects with the mystery of universal generation. Now, I'm going to say this about E.A. Waits. He speaks in a lot of unnecessary language, because what's happening is these people were writing these books to not be understood by what they would call the profane. This is 602 pages. This shit could have been probably 300 pages if you cut out a bunch of useless words. The point was not to make this understandable. It was to document things for those who were in the know. Okay, that's the deal with this. This really doesn't tell you shit. The scheme in full of the gates of understanding is It is treatise entitled The Gates of Light, which is full of. It don't really tell you anything straight up, but it does. You wouldn't be able just to read this and this is just information. Through all this backdoor shit though that I'm showing you here, we're gonna get to what he's really saying. And he knows, and he's not. It's just like all these new age people now. These motherfuckers will not come out and say certain things. These new age people will talk in circles. Okay? This one particular astrologer talked in circles about the Arabs coming in pre-Renaissance and sharing all this knowledge and about architecture and science and this and that, and these early Jews and this and that. This is a very learned man, okay? And just like I sit here in front of these books, he sits in front of this huge wall of books. Check this out. This 70-something-year-old man who has been studying astrology for probably at least 40 years, he knows who the Moors are. But he talked went all around Robin Hood's barnyard, as my mama would say, without saying that particular word. What I'm saying is the same thing with this guy Waits. Babble. But check it out. We're going to figure out what he's saying when he says all. Keyword, all. A-L-L. What's the first law in the Kabbalion? The mind is all. And all is mental. He says all created things, it explains, have come out of these gates, so that in a sense their knowledge connects with the mystery of I can't even read my own handwriting. With the mystery of universal generation. Okay. Now, again, when you put the kaf and the lamet together, 20 plus 30, we get 50. Okay? Which is the all, which are the gates. But when you put those two together, just like Waite said here, K-O-L-L, all, again, they produce, we get the K and the L. See? Kaf and the lamet. All right? That K-L, K-O-L-L, guess what it also means? You can see that. You see that? C-O-A-L. Coal. Coal. What is coal? Carbon. Carbon. Oh, shit. Hold on now. Let me go here. Coal. Carbon. No, I think I got this page. I'm just going to get it out the booklet, because I wrote this in the booklet. I don't know if I put it in this section, but if I didn't, it's all good. I just go and pull it. No, it's not in this section. But this is where I got it from. I don't mind sharing the source. I've mentioned this book several times, The Sufis. Let me read in here in the Sufis. Damn, I had these pages memorized, but now I've forgotten. Here's one entry. In Arabic, the word fahim or fetchim from the Semitic root FHM means to understand, perceive. Haven't we been talking about that? Perceive, grasp, understand, knowledge. Okay. From it are derived the words to make a person understand, and so on. A Sufi circle called the Fahmiya, perceivers, traces its philosophical pedigree to Bayezid Bastami. There are two letters H in Arabic. A word using the second H is also pronounced like fetchim, but means coal men or coal man or charcoal dealer. Its members, to commemorate this in ritual, actually put charcoal on their faces. Blackface. Freemasons are in some Arabic dictionaries called charcoal burners or coal men. In ancient secret society, an Italian secret society, originally devoted to doing good and to the ends of mutual protection, was called the Carbonari, the charcoal burners. There can be no reasonable doubt on historical, geographical, and linguistic evidence that this is a deteriorated form of the perceivers. Carbonari, carbon. Now, what does all this mean? What does this have to do with numbers? And this is where we're going to end our first part here about numbers from a different perspective. And we're going to keep moving in our next segment. Why are numbers and numerology important? Because it's the history of a people. Nimrod in the Bible is not a character. It's the story of a people. Nimrod carbon. We just did all this forensic work and we traced this back to carbon because Nimrod, just to backtrack, he's a mighty hunter. Hunt, hand, calf, 20. Rod, ox goad, lamed, 30. 2030. Coal, carbon, carbonari, charcoal burners. All right? The perceivers, to venerate, put charcoal on their face. Come on now. Don't take a rocket scientist here. Let's read up a little something on Nimrod. A descendant of Ham through Cush, who early distinguished himself throughout the region of Mesopotamia. That's all we need. Cush. Wonderful Ethiopians of the ancient Kushite Empire. Let's see here. Where do I want to? I think I wrote down the pages that I wanted to read out of this. At least I thought I did. One second. Okay, that's all right. Well, we got pages marked. We're gonna go through here. Let's see. Kushite colonies were all along the southern shores of Asia and Africa, and by the archaeological remains along the southern and eastern coast of Arabia. Okay. The name Kush was given to four great areas: Media, Persia, Susiana, and Aria, or the whole territory between the Indus and Tigris in prehistoric times. In Africa, the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Canaanites, and Phoenicians were all descendants of Ham. They were a black or dark-colored race and the pioneers of our civilization. They were emphatically the monument builders on the plains of Shinar and the valley of the Nile from Meroe to Memphis. In southern Arabia, they erected wonderful edifices. They were responsible for the monuments that dot southern Siberia, and in America along the valley of the Mississippi down to Mexico, and in Peru, their images and monuments stand as voiceless witnesses. Wow. Okay, and I'm sure many of y'all familiar with this book. I mean, there's a million things I could read out of here, but we're going to find just a couple more key things. Okay. At his death, colonies under the leadership of Titan, or Nimrod, arrived in the plain of Sumer and essayed to build a tower that would scale the sky. On this spot at Babylon stood the temple of Anu. Then in these early Babylonian traditions follow the names of Gilgamesh, the Melkarth of Tyre, and the Hercules of Greece, identified with the name of Nimrod of the Hebrews. The epic of the adventures of Nimrod was preserved in the library at Erech and is identical with the 12 labors of Hercules. What significance lies under this common hero under the names of the greatest of the demigods of Egypt and Greece? Okay, all the earliest traditions of Chaldea center around Belus or Nimrod. We know that Nimrod was a son of Cush. Babylon had two elements in her population in the beginning. The northern Akkadians and the southern Sumerians were both Cushites. This story that we've traced through etymology, and let me say this first of all, I believe in my heart of hearts that we left breadcrumbs through language. And a people who had prophetic vision, which the Hermetica shows that there was a prophetic vision, that knew that there would be a great loss of knowledge or a great forgetting or forgetfulness, a slumber. So if this was understood, and it was also understood that this would be temporary, just like sleep is, then that means when the awakening would become there, or when the awakening would start to happen, there would need to be some breadcrumbs or reminders in place, or tools to help those in the awakening to be able to track where they come from. In spite of all of the lies, in spite of all of the tricks. And I'm not saying that etymology is the only way, by no means. But it definitely is a formidable tool to have. When you combine that with basic metaphysical and occult knowledge and astrological understanding, and some knowledge of records of the past. We're talking about some powerful stuff. Even on top of things being changed, things being altered, things being plagiarized, whatever we want to say, we still have an avenue to get to some measure of truth. Numbers are just not tools for count money or even from a deeper perspective to let you know that, hey, you're a 1, you're going to be a leader in life, and you're an 8, and this and that, you're a 2. The movement of numbers is historical record of humanity. There's so much to talk about. I'm gonna foreshadow to another segment of discussion that'll be later, and we'll call it divine grammar. I want to show you something. Even our alphabet is full of occult truths, hidden knowledge. And we'll close on this. That AB at the top, there's a reason that AB starts our alphabet. AB is fire. That's spirit. Okay? Turn it around, you have the Ba. Okay? Aleph, light, fire. Bet, the house. Fire chariot, okay? Descends. And you'll notice you see that LK or KL descends into the gate or the gates. Those gates lead to man, original man, at the bottom of the circle, MN. That's why we have man. You turn it around, we have name, nomen. Turn it back around, we have moon. It's reception. The sun is at the top, the moon is at the bottom. It's feminine. The active principle is at the top. Sun, spirit. Feminine principles at the bottom. Moon, water, reception. Hidden in our alphabet. This lines up with numerology, which would be a whole different discussion. But everything is everything. Everything is everything. So, I want to jump ahead here. We're looking forward to this grand conjunction, or great conjunction, excuse me, on the 21st. And we know all types of nefarious things are in the water. But we have to ask ourselves, why? Because it is time for the body of Osiris, the Djed pillar, the Tower of Babel. Remember, the Tower of Babel was based on knowledge. So the misunderstanding of that story leads to the villainization of knowledge. It is time to shift from trickery, lies, deceit, the hiding of knowledge, the prevention of wisdom, development. It is time for an adherence. And when something adheres or joins or conjoins, which is the same as the Ankh, conjoining, it's gnosis. All right, this concludes first part of numerology from a different perspective. Thank you to all the patrons who this is for. I'm also loading this up on YouTube. This is just the introduction into the numerology from a different perspective. If you want to keep going as we go through the rest of the hidden jewels, then you can join us at on our Patreon. I don't even know what it is. It's in the description. It's patreon.com/the gnosis, I think. But I'll look it up, put it in the description beneath this video. For the patrons, stay tuned. I'll be loading up more. All right. Peace.